Hey everyone, and welcome back to Architect Showdown. Now, in this month's episode, we have a new thing going, which is really just a prize for the winning submission, and I'm really excited to announce what that prize is shortly. But I just want to say this really means that we need your help to crown the winner. Now, this month's challenge was to build a food court that must contain at least one washroom. So we're going to double check with all of our builds that they do have that minimum requirement. And our prize for this episode is going to be one Planet Zoo DLC of the winner's choice. Now, I feel that this is a fitting prize as well, considering we have 6 different zoos, or zoo submissions anyway, to take a quick look at in today's episode. Now, just a reminder that this is recorded live, so I want to apologize in advance for any audio issues that you may hear. And now, in no particular order, we're actually going to start off with Circle E's submission, the Water View Cafe. Now, she has doubled this up to be also an Asian water monitor, but before we get here, I just want to call out one thing. Circle has incorporated this into her actual zoo build, which is also on YouTube. So I am going to link all of the content creators so you can see them in the description. But she actually has incorporated this into her own zoo, and I'm really excited to see where this zoo goes, considering it has something that she's built for us, and I'm really excited. Of course, we have quite a few, but I love the feel of this zoo already. This looks really cool. So I want to say blue has to be my second favorite color, orange being the first, but I love what you've done here. We have our exit, we have our water view cafe with some of the lights. I love these lights. They're the aquatic lights, I believe, and we have our entrance. We do have our 2 washrooms. That's the minimum requirement. And as we head up through the entrance, we can kind of see the lights leading our way, guiding us in. And I gotta say, there's some pretty cool facts about this build. Of course, I want to call out the floor. It looks like water, and it fits because if you step on the glass, you're actually over our water monitor exhibit. And speak of the devil, there is a water monitor just taking a leisurely swim underneath the cafe. This is really cool. This would be like the most ideal food court or restaurant, just being able to kind of sit here and watch the animals kind of swim by and like look out into the actual exhibit and the habitat. That's really cool. We do have our info and mementos, so you've incorporated some additional buildings here, which is amazing. I love how I think everybody has actually used this build. I'm gonna probably call that out shortly again, but I love how everybody's utilizing the cheaper kiosk items, like not the full kiosk, but like rather the half one. And I feel like this is just so much more versatile. We do have our water monitors hanging out on the walls, and then we have our restaurant. I love the idea of utilizing restaurants. I've never really played around with them too much, but I love what you've done with this. The only thing I gotta say is like, I really wish maybe like we could have a more modular restaurant, so we could put like the fryer on this side and the entrance on the other side, so you can kind of have it so there's just not an open door. And I know that this is definitely not on Circle in any way. It's just the way it's built. So it's just a small thing that would have been really cool. Now, I do love the barrels, and then you have like all the signs, so people can come in while they're eating or after they're done eating. They can kind of just get up and take a look out into the habitat. And I gotta say, this habitat is phenomenal. It's really big, and I'm sure you're gonna have an explosion of water monitors in any short length of time. But I love how this looks. I love the lily pads, the water, and it's, like slowly flowing. But this is the part that kills me. Just having the water flow underneath the habitat looks really cool. And then of course we have our exit to the food court. Now this of course is a rather large build. We have a big open room, and then like the sunroof as well, letting in all this natural light. It just looks absolutely stunning. It would be like the best place to kind of go and eat. It would be kind of like a solarium almost, just with the amazing views and everything like that. I love it. I do want to take a quick look at some of the zoo as well. I think there's some really cool aspects of the zoo. I love these like the little signs and like the buildings and stuff like that. Even like the fact that you've color coded everything, so you've dyed everything kind of the same color. This looks amazing. This is a great job, Circle. I love it. You've definitely set the bar really high for our first submission. We still have 5 more to make our way through. So without further ado, let's continue on our journey. Our second submission for our challenge comes from Aspen Arrow and Far Harbor. And for those who do not know, Far Harbor is a DLC for Fallout 4, and I love the callouts that we see here. First off, though, this is actually built on the diorama, if I'm not mistaken. So I love what you've done, what you've built here. I love that lighthouse, though. That blew me away when you were sharing this in the Discord. I did not think that this was going to be what the end product was. But welcome to Far Harbor. Now, when I first loaded this up, the one thing I noticed right off the bat was the Nuka-Cola. And as soon as I saw the Nuka-Cola, I was like, this is definitely a Fallout callout. And I love it. And then I just noticed this, which is a Beware Mirelurks. And if you look over here, you can see some eggs. And then you can see actually a Mirelurk shell lurking in the dirt. So this is, if you've never played Fallout, this is how they kind of spawn. So they'll spawn with their shells sticking out of the dirt, and then you kind of just gotta be very careful and watchful. But that's a really cool call out. I love what you've done here. Now, I've never played Far Harbor. I've played the base game of Fallout, but I am terrible when it comes to games. Typically, I pick them up and then kind of just play them, and then I move on to the next one. So maybe I should go back, but I love what you've done. So we do have an interior. We're gonna take a quick look, but I do notice some stuff over here. Let's just take a quick jaunt over here and take a look. We have an outdoor seating area. Oh, this is really cool. So you can kind of order your stuff and then sit outside and enjoy it. Now, I did leave it on the time that it was sent in. So it was sent in at 2200 hours. And I feel like looking at this at night just makes it pop just a little bit more. And of course, we have our Enjoy Nuka-Cola. Looks like it is definitely a custom sign, but I love what you've done here and everything. This is just absolutely phenomenal. Even with the lights here, so the LED tubes to make the Nuka-Cola bottle, that's actually phenomenal. Now, as we kind of move in, we see a sign, build by Aspen Arrow. Love it. And then, of course, we have drinks and food. Now, I really like this because it's Fallout is a post-apocalyptic game. So things that you look at, they're not necessarily clean. And I love the style that you've kind of got here because all their food carts and all their stalls are a little beat up because it is definitely after the nuclear bombs have dropped. A few hundred years later. So this looks phenomenal. And then as we kind of move in, this is something I can't get over. You have an entire menu set up. We go from Nuka-Cola all the way to clean water with the capped call out. So if this was not a Fallout call out, I wouldn't know what was, but this is just lovely. We have our food, we have our chems, and then I believe we have some more stations, drinks, chems, and food. Some seating areas, our washrooms as well, and then even more oh my goodness, Nuka-Cola Quantum, now with more sugar and 100 times more caffeine. Cannot be good for you, that's for sure. But I love this, a phenomenal build, a phenomenal second submission, and we have our money cut out for us. Of course, the last thing I do want to take a look at is just the lighthouse up here. Now, there is an upstairs section. So I believe up here is I want to say the keeper hut for the exhibit. We should have some, I want to say, otters. I believe there's some otters running around. That's what I saw. But as we kind of make our way up, we have our stairs, and then we have our, brush and kind of sunk into the stone. Love that. We have a little bench for us to take a break at. We have a cut down tree. Very much reminds me of, not Last of Us. There's a game that I can't think of. It's on the tip of my tongue, but this kind of reminds me of it. Life is Strange. That's the word I was looking for. Kind of reminds me of Life is Strange. We have our lighthouse. We have, the only thing that's missing would be a little map of the city and stuff like that. But I love the work here. It's not easy working and building things at an angle like this. It's definitely not a fun experience, especially when you're building it as it gets smaller, because it can't be easy. So I'm really impressed with what you've built here, building it up the way it is, and then kind of having that top cap to make it into a lighthouse. This looks beautiful. And kind of we'll cheat a little bit. We're going to come out onto this rock outcropping and kind of take a look at Far Harbor from above. Love the little deck. You can kind of come in on the deck and then make your way into the restaurant. This is a phenomenal build. Bravo to another fantastic architect, Aspen Arrow. So again, just a reminder, your vote will matter. So in the first comment, hopefully the pinned comment, you're going to see a link to a a poll so you can actually vote for who you believe deserves to win this month's challenge. Our third submission for our Architect Showdown comes from Claby, who has built a post-apocalyptic food court mall. And I gotta say, this looks absolutely phenomenal. So as we kind of go in, you see, of course, our broken down windows on the left, but down the center, we see this tree just kind of growing within the mall. And I gotta say, this really lives up to the source photos that you kind of shared. I love the fact that the tree is growing in a elevator bay. This looks amazing. I gotta say, Claby, well done work. You even have like the glass hanging out, so it's kind of fallen down and embedded itself, and weather through lots of like rainwater and stuff like that. It started to kind of like fall into the ground. This looks phenomenal. And when you look over here, you kind of see the elevators, which I gotta say, custom built elevators. These look amazing. And then they have the one elevator bank that's kind of fallen from the third floor. So the second to third floor has collapsed. And I have to say, this looks beautiful. We have lots of foliage, and then we even have some buildings over here. So we have some food court items. I believe our washroom is right there. And then we have some food court items on both sides. We are going to check out the left-hand side, which is Oasis Shakes, I think. Yeah. Oasis Shake. And I love how it's they have the I on the ground, we have the S, and it's kind of just like dilapidated and falling apart. This looks amazing. And even better is that it's like it's a fully functional building, so that the workers would come in, they'd actually work here, guests could kind of come over here and hang out and get their food and stuff like that. This looks amazing. And then even like with having like these small details, like the wood or the floor panel from above has fallen and landed on the ground here. This looks outstanding. Claby, I gotta say this is fantastic work. Now we do have two areas I do want to check out as first. We're going to check out the other food court items over here, and then we're going to check out the stairs, because I love the ability for us to go up the stairs. So we'll take a look at that, but we gotta just speed up a little bit. And then we don't necessarily have a name on this side, but I love how the TV screens are just falling apart. So we have one that's barely hanging on, and we have another one that's actually collapsed to the ground. I love what you've done. Like, this just screams post-apocalyptic. I'd expect to see like deer running through here. It's just kind of like a great way of, symbolizing Earth taking back land from, the natural forest taking over the concrete jungle. This looks amazing. We even have a floor piece that's landed on the top here. This looks stunning. I love the detail associated with this, Claby. Like, absolutely stunning. Now, of course, the $1 million question is, can we go to the second floor? Now, before we do that, I just want to call out, I love how you have the tree growing out of here, and then you've removed the pieces to allow the tree to do this. This is really cool. And with a few minor adjustments, we almost fell through there. We have made it to the second floor. Can't really go much higher than that, only because there is no third floor. It's gone. But you can kind of see a little bit of a better view of what it looks like from up here. We have a lot of ground breaking through where the trees are, getting rid of the concrete floors, and then we have the windows kind of just falling apart, falling out. This looks stunning. But I gotta say, like, the piece de resistance, of course, is the fact that you have an escalator that's fallen down and it just kind of hanging out there, and then you have the trees growing through. This looks amazing, Claby. I love what you've done with this, and it really is. It really speaks volumes of the fact that it's part of like that source photo that you shared in the Discord. This looks amazing. Excellent work, Claby. I love what you've done with this entire build. Phenomenal work. Our fourth submission, again, in no particular order, comes from Oberon, who has built quite the food court. And I think you can see this as you kind of walk in. This looks pretty wild. There's quite a few things to take in. So we're going to start off on the right. So I believe I love the murals. Utilizing the murals the way you have, it just looks amazing, and it definitely gives me some ideas. Of course, we do have our washroom. And then we have Hooters. I love the owl that you've created here, utilizing those leaves, and then just with the eyes and stuff like that. That looks absolutely phenomenal. Going on the other side, we have a few other named brand restaurants. We have our classic McDonald's. We have Subway and Orange Julius with smoothies and extras. And then I love how you've incorporated like this backspace area with the oranges and whatnot. This looks wild. And we even have subs and salads and sides. And then I love how you have the signs on the inside as well, so you can kind of like just see it. But this looks really cool. This reminds me of a mall food court. Like this is 100% a mall food court. And I've definitely been in a mall that looks exactly like this. Of course, we have our McDonald's and we have sweets and treats. And again, I love how you have the signs kind of hanging out in the back here as well. Burgers. This looks really cool. I absolutely love what you've done with the place. And then we have another washroom. I actually love, and I've never really done this myself, and I think it's something that I need to take a look into doing. But I love how people have started to incorporate like additional ante rooms going into the washroom. So you can kind of imagine like this would be like where you would come down this hallway so that people wouldn't necessarily just like see you going in and out of the washroom. And that's normal. I also love the queue lines that you have set up here for the restaurants. It's a very small detail, but it definitely just seals the deal. This looks gorgeous. I love what you've done with this. We have our own little vegetation boxes, and then I love these food court stalls, tables that you've created. So they all look custom. I love how you've utilized a lot of the plastic pieces. Again, you gotta love the versatility of those plastic pieces, creating the round half moon entrances with like the little stools and stuff like that. This looks really cool. We have a custom garbage can. And then I love this back mural wall. So it's easy to utilize the mural. We saw them use over there, the winter ones. This is the river one. But I love how you utilize the leaves and then kind of continued the entire mural going all the way up. This looks really cool and such a unique way of utilizing them. I've never actually thought of utilizing this, but this looks really cool. But I just noticed as I was kind of looking up, this looks wild. It looks like penguins and maybe some otters, some seals, and they're just swimming around in a circle. This looks really cool, and I think it's such an awesome detail, and it's so easily missed. This has to be my favorite part of this build, next to, of course, all the name brand items and the Hooters, but this just looks amazing. I absolutely love this. You even have like the little ones mixed in, like with like almost like fishes. Oh my goodness. This looks amazing. Well done, Oberon. Like this is a phenomenal job when it comes to the overall food court theme. I absolutely love what you've built here. Even incorporating the column here and having it built into the table is just, it's so like peak 20th century food courts in a mall. Like this is amazing. This brings me back to my retail days working in mall food courts. And then, just eating there every day. This looks amazing. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it as well, but there is music playing and you have that classic mall music playing in the background. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it in the overall, in the actual recording, but you have the speakers over here. This just looks so amazing. Now, here's the $1 million question. Can you actually go in the Hooters? Oh my God, you can. You can go in the Hooters and it's a full section. Oh my God. I did not expect this. This is wild. You have, so we went through the wall. I do apologize. There is a door right here, but this looks amazing. I never thought you have another owl. I never thought you would have actually gone this far. I love the wall. It's such a good use of like the basic pieces to create something so good looking. It just looks really cool. Oh my goodness, is there going to be another place back here? Okay, no. I thought it just kept on going on and on and on there. This looks amazing, Oberon, like a fantastic build. I really hope you incorporate some of these builds, like some of these items into your actual zoos as you move forward, because this is a phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal building that you've created here. Again, the mural, and then just, oh, the skylight with all the animals swimming in a circle. This just looks amazing. Amazing job. Again, like we're only four in, we still have 2 more to go through, and everybody has, you know, they've done a fantastic job. I can't wait to see what you as the viewer vote for, because I am torn on who's is best. Even the sign with the 3D letters, the multicolors, such a cool theme and idea that it just like, it's such a small detail, but it just looks so amazing. Excellent work as well, Oberon. Like absolutely amazing work. Our next submission comes from Max Hatter, and I gotta say, this is a pretty involved build. You are gonna notice that this is not a live tour, this is actually a video tour, and it really comes back down to the logistics of getting this zoo to run. So we were running into some crashing issues. I just couldn't figure out how to get it going. So Max was kind enough to send in a video of it instead. And I gotta say, this looks absolutely amazing. You can definitely tell a lot of work went into the detail of creating this food court. And actually, if you go to his channel, which again, you're gonna see linked in the comments below, you're going to find a video on a portion of this build, which is the hippodrome. And he is fantastic with his knowledge, and I think you should definitely go and watch it. You're gonna learn a lot. But you can tell definitely chugging a little bit, and it's because there's so much built into this for one simple challenge. And I gotta say, I am absolutely floored with all of what he's put up in here. This is just starting off with the hippodrome. You gotta say, like, this is just outstanding work, and his video showed the struggle that he went through to get this built. And I gotta say, it was definitely not easy, that's for sure. Of course, there is a washroom, and definitely know that for sure that there's a washroom, and you can see all of the kiosks set up all across the hippodrome, and it's kind of turning in that horse racetrack and whatnot into a whole food court, and it looks phenomenal. Again, quite a bit of chugging issues, but I think that that's just par for the course of creating something that is extravagant and piece heavy as what it is. Now, Max was kind enough to provide a few different shots of his entire build, and I want to take a few moments to talk about the village that he put on the map specifically and purely just to make it look really nice. And it's not often you find a builder that would go as in depth as what he did here to create something as extravagant and as gorgeous as what he's done. I didn't really have a whole lot of ideas of what he was building. I knew that he built the hippodrome, but seeing the final build, even though I may not have been able to explore it, which I'm really sad about, it is a phenomenal build. Now, again, rest assured, he does meet all the requirements for this particular challenge, and I'm just really sad that we couldn't explore it live. Maybe one day we'll finally get it figured out, but that's a little far off. But I definitely encourage you guys to check out Max's channel and keep an eye on what he's building, because some of it is just absolutely gorgeous. Our final build comes from Lizzie. So just want to call out, of course, again, this is another video submission, and that's okay. If you want to participate in Architect Showdown and you don't want to share the file for whatever reason, with Max, it just some corruption issues. With Lizzie, it's actually part of her overall zoo, and I don't blame her for wanting, necessarily to share that information. So that's okay. You can feel free to submit a video anytime. But of course, I want to talk a little bit about this opening plaza with the fountains, and they look absolutely gorgeous, and the foliage work, and look at that view. It's just beautiful. I love how she's focusing on it as well. I want to call out these parasols, or the umbrellas for the tables as well. I've not actually seen that umbrella, and it looks amazing. I am a huge fan of those umbrellas. Now, this is really cool. It's like a parrot habitat, and I love the idea that people are working around the constraints. Frontier has not implemented birds the way I think people wanted them to be. So they're making these static birds and placing them in habitats to create the idea of these bird habitats. And I think that's really cool and a solid use of tools and resources available to them. Also, I just noticed this floor is absolutely cool. I love the idea of these seashells sunken in, so it's almost like fossilized seashells. And then we even have some exhibit animals. There are 2 exhibit animals. I hope they're snakes, although snakes kind of freak me out personally, I'm not gonna lie. And that's okay. It's part of working with animals. Now, as we actually enter the interior of this food court item, you can definitely see the Mexilante, which is a fantastic back room board, so you can kind of see the monkeys, ostriches, Tasmanian devil, and a bat just hanging out there. It's really cool. And then we have our Pip Shot water, and I love the little coffee cup, the Street Fox coffee. I love the way that that's set up. It's such a gorgeous item, and I just love what you've done here. It's very minimal, but it's so gorgeous and just modern looking, and I'm a huge fan of modern ideas. Of course, we have that gorgeous view again. I love the mountaintops in the background. It just makes it look so much more full of life, and you gotta love that. Of course, we do have the final requirement for the build. We have our washroom, and I really love what Lizzie did with the washroom. So right off the bat, I love the idea of utilizing different wall pieces, but it's the interior. I've never really thought of building an interior to a washroom. In this case, it's like a little vestibule, seating area, and I love the artwork on the walls. It just fits so nice and neat. And then, of course, we have the backstage area. But now we are at the end of our Architect Showdown, and I just want to say thank you very much to all of the participants. Would not have been able to build this without you. Now, of course, for you as the viewer, really need you guys to head on down to the link and vote for who you think deserves to win the Architect Showdown this season. Of course, there is a prize up for grabs. Now, if you're thinking of participating, by all means, you are more than welcome to do so. You can head on over to our Discord, and we are there, willing and ready to welcome all new participants to our community. Otherwise, I just want to say ciao for now, everybody.